Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Mercury Retrograde reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they are all located in the description box below. So before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh. Okay. Oh, and then 3 bonus cards. Oh, wow. A whole other line. Wow, that's intense. Okay, let me see. Camera is showing. So put this over here. Move things down just a bit. Okay. So this, of course, is your bonus line. And we'll have your inner self, your emotional self, and the public arena, your public self here. But first, we're going to see what your chakra has to say for this time. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? Awesome. So cards just jumped out, which I'm going to pick up right now. So Mercury retrograde is definitely playing by its own rules when it comes to you, Scorpio. Whole extra line, coming out as your bonus cards. Your chakra cards just jumping out and falling out. So this is going to be more than you bargained for. All right, show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Right, clearing the energy here, just a centering. And I feel like that's going to be something that is going to be so important for you, Scorpio. Just a centering of yourself, a centering of your energy during this Mercury retrograde, because it can have a tendency to kind of take hold and just kind of fling you around like a rag doll. And that's not what you want. You want to be in control of this energy, if not in control, because nobody can truly be in control of a Mercury retrograde, but you at least want to be armed against it and, standing firmly in yourself and in your power during it. So we start off here with peace, the crown chakra. Crowning yourself with peace is going to be something absolutely breathtaking to do. So with the crown chakra, all right, the crown chakra is opening you to peace, and it's saying during this time it can be very hard to find the peace that you want, but it's also going to be very powerful to claim that peace and to claim that power as you move forward. When I view the crown chakra now, Spirit has been showing me crowns, quite literal crowns. And what Spirit is saying is, how are you crowning yourself? What are you crowning yourself with? And so with the crown chakra, look at your crown. Just sit back for a moment and visualize the crown that you are wearing. Or visualize taking it out of a box and placing it on your head. Is the crown broken? Is the crown tarnished? Is the crown non-existent? Do you have to work on being able to build, cultivate, and mold that crown, that blessing, that beauty, and that power for you? Because that crown can be shaped like a lotus flower to be atop your head. That crown can be beautiful, shining like diamonds and Swarovski crystals and just over the top. Or that crown can be very demure. It's a circlet atop the head, but holding the power and the dignity and the grace of you. And then we have, after the crown chakra, we have abundance. So we go from the crown to the roots. And here, with your rooted self, we are all rooted in abundance, even though it doesn't always feel that way at all. There can be disadvantages that we have, and setbacks and angers and upsets and upheavals that make us feel as if abundance is the last thing that ourselves, our tree of life and existence, was ever planted in. It is looking at the soil. It is looking at the pot of the tree that holds your dreams, that holds your life, that holds yourself, your life tree. And it is seeing if it needs to be repotted. It is seeing if it has outgrown what you had originally thought. But there can be apprehensions here, like how do I change this up, and how do I claim my power, and how do I move forward in my abundance, in my prosperity, in my bounty. And with this rooted chakra, and with this root chakra, and with your rooted self, you are calling forth abundance, an abundant mindset, and abundance of ideas, of hopes, of dreams, but you are rooting yourself in them. And you're saying, this is my abundant self. This is the power of my soul, of me. And it moves you to your truth, to your throat chakra. Now, during Mercury retrograde, Mercury is the god of messages. In ancient Roman times, in ancient Greek times, it was, Apollo. So this is the messenger god. This is a sense of, messages, correspondence. The way that we communicate becomes all muddled. And it can lead us to such a time of upheaval, a time of stress, a time of anxiety or anger. And here it is saying, if you speak your truth, it may not always be heard, but it will always balance you, Scorpio. And this Mercury retrograde is in your time frame. It starts off in the Libra time frame, and then of course it goes right into you, the Scorpio time frame. So this is going to be a time where you find yourself tested in ways that you really don't want to be tested. And you find yourself impacted in ways that you would rather not be. So if you stay to your truth, if you stay to the calling of your heart, your soul, yourself, you will find that opens up doors, that moves you forward in a way that grounds you, that makes things more profoundly open for you, and that moves you towards the betterment of where you want to be, but more importantly, where you need to be within this world and within this life. Now again, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side is your public arena, your public self. And then we have your bonus full line right here. So we start off with the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. And you're going to feel at times during this retrograde that you're on a roller coaster ride and you want to get off. But things are changing. A new season is coming in. And it's leading you towards the King of Wands. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Passion, power, determination. And then it brings you to the Knight of Swords. And this is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, so the Libra energy of this Mercury retrograde is going to be quite powerful for you. It's going to have you moving forward. It's going to have you moving forward quickly. It's going to have your mind working very quickly. Don't jump to conclusions. Make sure you think things through, because you're having a white knight time, you know, getting on that steed and slaying dragons and moving yourself forward. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles, wealth that lasts for generations. It does not have to be prosperity wealth. Like, no, it's all going to be centered around prosperity. It does not have to be financial wealth. We like to think of wealth in terms of our bank accounts, in terms of money, and I would love that for you. But Spirit doesn't always think that way. Spirit can see somebody who is struggling financially and look at them and say they are rich. You know, they have this beauty, this prosperity to them. So here, it is calling forth the richness in your life of what you value as much as money coming to you, moving you towards your greatness, okay? And you're ending a cycle, and you've been fighting for this cycle to end with your prosperity, okay? With the wealth that you are calling into your life. You're ending a chapter, and you're beginning a new one. You have the repeat of the number 10, which is what's showing us this. Then you have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy once again, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. In your heart, you go from being a student in your inner self, the way you look at yourself, to being a queen. Okay, this is looking at your passion. This is looking at your compassion. This is looking at your determination, your fire, your brilliance, your truth. And then you have the Page of Swords. So you're being a student of what you want, of what kind of sets your heart on fire, moves you to being a student of your truth, being a student of your mind and your heart coming together. It leads you to the Two of Wands. It leads you to the world opening for you in a way that you hadn't expected. And it brings you to the Nine of Pentacles, a prosperity that brings a security, right? But kind of don't count your chickens before they're hatched energy here. It's kind of like, can you believe this? And then it's like, okay, well, keep it to yourself. Then you have the Knight of Coins, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You have the repeat of the Knights. You have a repeat of the Pages. You are a student and you are a warrior, moving forward in your prosperity, but slowly. Slowly, the Knight of Pentacles moves slowly. The Knight of Swords moves quickly. You can feel almost as if you're at odds with yourself at times. And then moves you to the Three of Pentacles. What you have been studying, what you have been working for, what you have been learning, what you have been adding to your life, brings a richness, brings a prosperity, brings an abundance to you. And it leads you to the Emperor. It leads you to this Aries energy coming through astoundingly strongly. It leads you to claiming your throne, knowing your power, okay, knowing your truth, Scorpio. It also leads you to understanding that, yes, mistakes are made, and mistakes will be made, but I will not be held back because I have mistakes in my past. And then you have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is karmic, so you have 4 going into 5. Something karmic is faced during this Mercury retrograde. It has to do with the claiming of your power. It has to do with the speaking of your truth. It leads you then to the Four of Wands. This is a brilliance that cannot be ignored. It is a happiness, a joy, a prosperity that gets to be a part of your life. It can be huge. It really can be. It can be just breathtaking, but it can also be very quiet, but astoundingly meaningful. It brings justice. It brings the Libra energy to the forefront for you during this time. It brings justice. It brings understanding. It brings an opening up to your truth and seeing something so much greater than you had realized. It brings you to yet another 10. So divinity is saying you're coming to an end of a cycle. It has to do with your passion. It has to do with the weight that you carry upon your shoulders. and it leads you to the Four of Swords. It leads you here, and you are crowned and you are rooted in 4. So this means that you, in this bonus line, it's like, look at yourself during this time. Take care of yourself. Take care of your soul. The Four of Swords is hardships, pains, and disappointments. It's the hurts and the battles that we have fought in our lives and in this world. And it's not being dragged down by them. It's not being defined by the hurts and the pains. It's looking at them and saying, wow, look how far I've come. And you're releasing so much that has kept you weighed down, that has kept you small, that has kept you silent, that has kept you from embracing a power that is rightfully and justly yours. So let's see. Let's see the people who will be aiding you during this time. Who are the people who will be aiding Scorpio during Mercury Retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Who are the people who will be aiding Scorpio, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic, these 3. We have here the Lovers, Gemini energy. Now, this is a time frame, of course, of May 21st to June 20th. This is somebody who loves and loves deeply. This is somebody who has a duality of personality that you might sit there and be like, wow, that's you. Like those two contrasting, ways of being are you. It's going to be, yes. This is going to be a person who sits there, and I actually feel you really, really, really liking this person. Like this is a person who aids you. Yes, but you don't have to know them in real life. You are drawn to them, though. You are drawn to the way that they think. You are drawn to the words that they use. You are drawn to the energy that they're giving off. This is a person who can love deeply and passionately and beautifully, but also kind of like a firecracker. It's like it goes off and then it's done. And so they have these brilliant stories to tell. They have this brilliant way of walking in the world that you are going to feel yourself really embracing, really just kind of, soaking in, because they understand the grays the way that you do. They understand the in-between of things. That's really beautiful. This person could actually wind up being a lover for you. Yeah. I mean, I know during this time with everything that's going on, it can be very difficult, but this person, even down the road, I mean, just their energy is coming in, and it just has such a brilliance to it that it's really quite wonderful. And we have the King of Swords amplifying the Gemini energy. This is a person who cuts to the truth of things. I see the King and the Queen of Swords as the warrior, King and Queen. So this is a person who literally holds a weapon in their hands, who cuts through doubts and fears, who knows their truth, who knows what they want, who knows what they desire. And this is a sense of passion, of determination, of knowledge, of bounty really coming forward. This is a person who thinks outside of the box. This is a person who can have a really cutting way of saying things and of seeing things. And so just know that they'll say something and you'll be right there with them. And then you might be like, well, that's a little bit harsh. That's a little bit mean. So don't take everything that they say as like gospel truth, but know that there is a power and a fierceness to them. And there's this way of communicating that's going to be so important to you during this time, and that they are kind of showing you. It can be even like a favorite poem, because this is Gemini energy. This is word energy, so it doesn't have to be even that this person is a Gemini. It can be that this person is a king, a person who was seen, okay, who has this energy of being seen, of cutting to the heart of the matter. So it can be some sort of media work that just really inspires you. Excuse me. And then you have Sagittarius, a time frame of November 22nd to December 21st. This is a person who is astoundingly spiritual, okay? And it's really interesting because Sagittarius and Geminis are sister signs. So this energy is going to really play well off each other. Gemini is more kind of forthright with things, kind of shines very brightly with things. And Sagittarius is an inclusive person, but has a tendency of being much more private, of much more kind of introspective. And that's going to be something that really calls to you. And there's a sense here of them being very introspective with religions, with spirituality, with the ether, and kind of the more spiritual truth of what is going on. And that's going to be something that really draws you to them. So the roller coaster ride that you are on during this time can be the roller coaster ride of the practical world and the spiritual world. It can be that you are opening up your mind and opening up yourself to such wonders, to such new possibilities that you hadn't expected or you hadn't anticipated for yourself, but is just such a part of you. And yes, you have these highs and these lows and these lefts and these rights and unexpected twists and turns, but it's Mercury retrograde, so that's par for the course. But there is a sense of the way the seasons change, the way things are moving forward for you. It's unexpected but powerful. And it moves you to being a student of your passion. It moves you to looking at things in a new way. It moves you to claiming your passion, your knowledge, your ideas, your ideals. It moves you to kind of, like, this is a time where you can really delve deeply into discovery, a discovery of your soul, a discovery of what you want. You could have thought you knew what you want, and now you're sitting there and you're like, oh wow, that's not it. That's not it. And now the doors start to open because you're diving deeper. Now you start to look at things and you're like, oh, okay. But this is also a time where, while everybody else is kind of steeped in chaos, okay, it's kind of like a tea bag, they're steeping in their chaos and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You are finding yourself steeping in curiosity, in wisdom, in knowledge, in a searching, in a questing, in a deeper understanding, yeah. And it opens you, it has you borne forward in this passionate discovery, and it moves you to the Knight of Swords, and moves you to cutting through doubts and fears, and moves you through wanting to move forward astoundingly quickly. It's kind of like, oh, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going to grab that bull by the horn and just go after it. But there needs to be this calmer approach. It needs to be this sense of thinking things through. Because if you move forward too quickly, you will make a mistake. You'll sit there and be like, oh, wow, well, I didn't see that, and that was the most obvious of things. So here it is a looking at the passion, at what you desire. It's stepping back for a moment, and it's not kind of psyching yourself out. It's like, okay, I know what I need, I know what I want, and I'm looking at this truth for me, guided by me. And then you have this thing, because in your inner self, you're going to move forward very quickly. It's kind of like you make this decision, you go after it, it's like it's done. And in the public arena, it's much more slowly, because you're building a foundation that lasts, and there are steps that need to be taken. So you are going to get frustrated with yourself, because you're going to be sitting there and thinking, oh my gosh, why is it taking so long? Why have I messed up so much? I can't believe this. I can't believe that. And you're going to find yourself being hard on yourself. That's going to be one of the conflicts that needs to be rectified during this time. There's also a sense of your passion and your mind needing to come together as they speak to your heart. And I know that sounds a bit funny, but it's the passion for why we get out of bed in the morning, okay? And it's the knowledge of the things that we have to do. And then it's the emotions that sit there and say, okay, well, this is right for me and this isn't right for me. And, we're finding ourselves. And during this time, you are definitely stepping into a power of seeking and discovering and claiming and truthful abundance. And it can make things a bit more complicated, a bit more difficult than you had anticipated. But it is also going to make things a lot more freeing and a lot more beautiful. And it leads you to the 10 of Pentacles. It leads you to prosperity that lasts for generations. Now, again, this can be wealth or what you value as much as money. And this can be the way that you touch the world around you, the way that you touch people around you. And it's almost like a secret. So here, definitely, I'm seeing this as, and she's saying shh to the parrot. It's kind of like, shush, don't tell. In the Emily Dickinson poem, I am nobody. It's I am nobody, who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us, don't tell. They'll banish us, How dreary to be someone, how public like a frog, to tell your name all livelong day, to an admiring bog. And that's going to be the sentiment here. It's like, shush, don't tell. Because how dreary to be before their court. How dreary to be one of them. To have nothing left but what they deem to be so powerful, so important, so beautiful, so true. And that's going to be what you're looking at during this time. It's like you're not going to be going along with the crowd. You're just not. It's like, no, thank you, but thank you. You're sitting there and you're looking at what you value. You're looking at what's important to you. And you know that others might be a bit disappointed or a bit angry at things because you're not playing them in accordance to their game. But there's something bigger on the horizon. And internally, you see it. Internally, you know it. And this isn't sitting back and saying, okay, well, I see it, I know it, and I'm just going to sit back and eat chips and be fine. No, this is going after it. This is putting in the work and the dedication and the power and the understanding, because the payoff is beautiful. And it doesn't mean that you'll be able to, dress in diamonds all the time or, at all. It means that you will be able to have comfort, to have a security. And you can't put a price on security. And you're looking at things differently. You can be sitting there and saying, wow, I thought it had to be in this arena. I thought it had to be like this. The planting of the seeds, the growing of the dreams, they had to be a certain way. And now you're seeing things opening. You're seeing yourself opening. And you become a queen within your heart. You become a queen of your passion. You become a queen of what sets your soul on fire. You become a queen of what you desire and what you want and what you need and what you're truly looking at. And that's a powerful truth. Your heart does not need to be center stage. In the public arena, you will take center stage. All right? When it comes to things, there will be a way that you see things. There will be something that you put together. And there's a power known because you have the Emperor here. But in your heart, with the Queen of Wands, also calling to fire sign energy and amplifying the Aries energy, you do not need to have all the accolade put on you. You do not need everybody to turn their head your way. You actually might feel very uncomfortable with their attention, even though it can be what you're working for and working towards. But there's a fire to you. There's a sense of rolling up the sleeves. There's a sense of looking at what you desire and looking at what you want and saying, no, I will not be held back. It is, It is a new season. It is a new day. It is a new understanding. And you're utilizing that power to the highest. And it makes you a student. It makes you a student of what it is that you want. It makes you a student of your mind and what you're looking at and what you desire. And it can be that more questions come at you than you have answers. And oh my gosh, you have the water and you have the fire. And the water is kind of spraying all over the place like air has hit it, right here. And that's what I'm seeing. It's like, okay, how do you balance these scales with the mind and with the heart? With the mind, with the heart, and they bring forth passion. And the mind and the heart are working together right here, right now. And that means that you have to have a conversation. You have to have a conversation with your mind and your heart. It's like, what do I want? It's like, I want this. What do I need? I need this. How do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? What is it that I desire? And you're looking at things so much more openly and honestly. And it's saying, well, why? Why is going to be a huge thing for you? And emotionally and mentally following that why is going to open up a profound and beautiful truth. And it brings you to the Two of Wands. It brings you to the world opening to you in a way that you hadn't anticipated, in a way that you thought was never going to be. The Two of Wands is in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is a man standing between two wands, holding the world in his hands. The world has become small. Okay? But the world is still large because he's looking out over the expanse of the sea. And if anything makes you feel small, it is the sea. And so he's holding the world in his hands, and it's like, okay, I get it. I have the power to be able to move forward. But there can be a question of how. There can be a question of why. There can be a muddying of the waters during this time, and there definitely are, of the way that you want to move forward and the way that you need to move forward, the passion that you have and the desire that you have for where it is that you want to be. And with the Two of Wands, here she has this fairy tree figure talking to her. It's going to come in the most unlikely of places, unlikely of spaces. It's going to open to you in a way that you hadn't anticipated, in a way that you didn't think was possible, in a way that, really does embrace a greater truth. And it's like, oh my gosh, keep it to yourself. Because you're going to want to shout it from the rooftops, but it's going to get muddied. It's going to get muddled. And this is really saying, speak your truth powerfully, gracefully, and purposefully for you. And do not share it with everybody else. Because the harvest has yet to be reaped. Because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a person standing in a garden full of grapes, full of pentacles, full of prosperity, but they're still on their vines. And you can have a frost come in and destroy the crop. So it's like, oh my gosh, this lightning bolt moment comes to you. Work on it internally, because you will be facing doubts and fears and apprehensions and roadblocks and, bumps along the way. And it's like, oh no, I'm done. I'm done with that. I need to focus on me. So they can get out of hand, most definitely. But as you focus on your truth and what you desire, what you want and what you need, it moves you to the Knight of Pentacles. It moves you to slowly and steadily building your prosperity, building your wealth, moving yourself forward. And again, this is money or something you value as much as money. You might actually find yourself tested and sitting there and saying, what will you choose? What will you choose? And sometimes what boils down to being astoundingly important to us, what boils down to being the best choice, is a lot of times the hardest choice to make. And it can break our hearts. And it can make us think that as we're moving forward, we're not truly moving forward to prosperity. But you are. You are, Scorpio. And there's a prosperity that shines down on you. It is a prosperity that creates an archway to abundance, creates a power of existence and bounty and beauty and truth that you hadn't expected. It is a prosperity that shines its light on you, illuminates your path, lets you see things more openly and more honestly, and people in the public arena are going to try and take credit for it. As you're moving forward, you have 3, 4, and 5 here. You have this beautiful progression. As you're moving forward, there's this brilliance that shines down on you, what you have been working so hard for. It makes you into an emperor of your life, of your soul, of yourself. And as I always say, the emperor makes me think of King David. I know some of you are tired of that, but it's just such a beautiful and powerful analogy. And then it has you facing a karmic debt. It has you facing a cycle that has been repeating and repeating and repeating within your life. But it has not silenced you. And you find yourself now as the light shines down. Okay? As the light shines down. And you claim your throne, you claim your worth, you claim your power, you know your truth, you know what it is that you desire from life. And a lot of times, we think we're supposed to know. And as I just said, as Spirit said, you know your truth, right? You know what you desire. Well, it comes to us because we know what we don't want. And it's so much easier to learn what we don't want than to really fully figure out what we do. So with the Emperor, there's a time of failure. There is. And that's why always when I see him, I equate him to King David. You can equate him to King Arthur, you can equate him to whomever you want to. But it is a person who tries, who strives, who is astoundingly human and makes mistakes, but claims his throne. A positive Aries is like King David, is like King Arthur. A negative Aries is like Nero, who played his fiddle as Rome burned. And who wants a Nero? This is embracing your passion. This is embracing your brilliance. This is embracing your truth. This is knowing that I will fall and I will fail, but I will get up. I will connect myself with Spirit. I will see more than I had anticipated seeing. I will be driven towards greater than I had ever known. And I will stand in that truth and I will stand in that power. And as you do so, you're facing a karmic debt. A karmic debt that could be you swallowed your words. A karmic debt that could be, having to not be pushed around, not be bullied, not, doubt your truth, your passion, yourself. Kind of giving that power to everybody else and saying, oh, okay, you're right. It's like, no, you're not right. I'm right. And it's not being argumentative or angry about it. It's saying, this is me. And it's going to be asking people's opinions and being like, oh, okay, that's your opinion. I get it. I wanted a different viewpoint. I wanted to see where this was coming from, but I still know me. And I'm moving forward. You're going to be tested, and your immediate reaction in the public arena is going to be, not this again. Not this again. It's come at you too often, too hard, too long, and it's like, not this again. But you are rising and you are striving. Do not back down. This isn't saying fight every fight. This is saying know where you stand and what you stand for, because you know what you don't want. You know what makes your heart feel like it is drowning. You know what makes you feel as if you don't want to move forward. You know, as if this has to be my life, then why? And this is the change that comes. Because the Mercury retrograde jumbles the words, you know, kind of like Scrabble, right? And leaves a mess of it all. And says, what are you going to be rebuilt as? What is the true form of the brilliance of your communication to lead you forward? And that leads you to a palace. That leads you to a brilliance. That leads you to a marriage, to your truth, to your passion, to your understanding, to your brilliance, to the honor of yourself. And this bonus line is like, this is your marriage to your sacredness. Because the Four of Wands is the Minor Arcana marriage card. And it can be that brilliant relationship with other people. Yeah, okay. It can be. And that's super important. But it's that relationship with yourself. It's those people who are truly confident, not in a braggadocious, look at me, everything's perfect, everything has to be more perfect in my life than it is in anybody else's. It isn't Hollywood perfection. It is soul's perfection. And that's what you are embracing. And it brings you to judgment. It brings you to a balancing. It brings you to an understanding. It brings you to an opening up of your arms and an understanding of your soul. And it's like, this is me. This is me. This is a balancing of the scales. This is an embracing of my truth, of my understanding, of my passion, of myself. And it leads me. It leads me to putting down the weight of the world that I carried upon my shoulders. The weight of the world that I thought it was my job to fix. And now I'm putting down everything that I have carried. And I'm looking at what I want, what I need, what I desire, what I hope for, what I strive for, what I see. And I'm building my fire of truth. I'm building my passion. Because divinity is saying change is coming. Whether you like it or not, change is coming. And as you build up this fire of truth, as you release the burdens that you have been carrying, give honor, give homage, okay, to all the hardships that you have been through, the battles, the hurts, the despairs, the despondencies, the heartbreaks, the pains. Honor them because they have forged you. We as human beings are forged much like swords are. We're put into the fire. And we are pounded till we become that blade. And some of us crack along the way. Lose our path. Lose our truth. You're not doing that. You are sitting there and saying, okay, this is who I am. And the ones who crack, it doesn't mean that you're broken forever. It means that you're melted down again. And you face that karmic lesson again and again and again. Until we get it right. We face it in this life. We can face it in other lives. We develop, we grow, we become. You have 9 counting down. You have 10 counting down to 9. You have 5 counting down to 4. Your roots have a pattern to them. Your truth guides you forward. You are a student and you are a warrior. Okay? You have 3 4s in this time. You are looking at yourself. You're looking at what you need, and you need to take care of you because you're going to think, you know what? I'll just push through. I'll be the last person I take care of because everything else needs my time, needs my attention. Let's go deeper. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Oh, good, as we go deeper. It gives you no bonus cards, which is good because it can get to be intense. It's like, oh, okay, a lot of information coming at you. Let's see. Let's see the people you are to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people Scorpio is to be mindful of during Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Who are the people Scorpio needs to be mindful of during Mercury retrograde, October 14th to November 3rd, 2020? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. So we have here Scorpio. This could be a fellow Scorpio. This could also be a person who is a little bit more secretive than you would like them to be. This is also a person you feel very drawn to. You're like, oh, wow, our energies match because they're a Scorpio, you're a Scorpio, but you're just not going to get on. You just aren't. They're going to be walking down a very different path than the one that you are walking down. But it's going to make sense to you, right? Because the vibrational energy is very similar. No, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by them. Yeah. Just very much seeing the scythe. They are hacking their path, okay? They're using this scythe right here. They're hacking their path forward, all right? You are naturally being guided on yours, okay? Spiritually being guided on yours. Princess of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Very interesting, right under the King of Swords. This is a person who is much more immature, okay? Is very young energy. It could be just a young person, or it can be an immature person. They don't necessarily have to be young, but they're coming across as a young energy. A person who asks a lot of questions, has no answers, okay? And that's not a bad thing at all. But the way that they're asking them, the kind of like, why me energy that is around them, that's not cool. And then we have the Prince of Pentacles. Now you have the Prince of Pentacles here with the Knight of Pentacles slowly and steadily moving forward, because that's going to be the crowning factor during this time for you, which is a very personal time. Our Mercury retrogrades are very personal for us. And this is in the public arena. You can feel very drawn to this person once again, just as you are drawn to the Scorpio energy. And it's like, okay. But they're, again, moving in a different direction. And they're moving so slowly. And they think it's everybody else's fault. Have you ever been around those people? And I'm just seeing kind of like a weaselly person. A person that's more than willing to stab everybody else in the back as long as they get to where they're going. And they're in no particular rush. But they are going to get there. And they are going to kind of take down anybody in their way. And that's what I'm seeing for this Prince of Pentacles. They don't really move that quickly, but they move viciously. You're crowned by the sun. I love it. Over change and over being a student of your passion. The sun shines on you. Beauty shines on you. Then as you move forward in determination and understanding, there is temperance, there is balance coming in. And it moves you to the Magician. As prosperity comes, the Magician comes. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. You go deeper and you have all major arcana. So internally, things hit you hard, they hit you deep, and they have profound meaning. You then are crowned here with the Five of Swords as you become a queen of your passion, as you become a student of your mind. This is something karmic that comes up, and you're looking at things in a very new way. And that's the Hangman that comes with the Two of Wands. You're not going to see the world the way that you once did. And that's what's going to give you pause as you're moving forward. But that's also what's going to give you great abundance. And as you're telling the world, let me take this all in, you are rooted here with the Queen of Wands. So in the main reading, you're crowned with the Queen of Wands. Now you are rooted with this passion, with this brilliance, with this sense of things coming together. You then have the Tower. As you slowly and steadily move forward and embrace your prosperity, things are changing, and divinity is saying this is a change that you cannot stop. It's coming in, it's hitting you, with truth, with power, with understanding. And as you move forward as an emperor, it brings forward your soul's wish. It's not what we cross our fingers and wish for. It's what our soul longs for, what our soul hungers for. And that part of us that it might be the hardest road to walk, but it is also the soul's truth. That is the most beautiful road to walk. And as you do this, and as you face a karmic debt, you rise from the ashes. You have judgment here. You rise. You have a resurrection of power and an embrace of beauty. And that is brilliant. That is brilliant. So as we go deeper, we have all but two major arcana cards, and one of them is a court card. So the sun shines on you. And when the sun shines on you, people take you by eyes. They sit there and say, well, why not me? Why cannot everybody be blessed? Why can't the sun bless everyone? Why does it have to be one way or another? So here, just be mindful of jealousy as happiness and joy become a part of your life. Temperance, balance is needed. Balance is needed. Things in moderation, especially as you're moving forward with this fierceness of the mind. It's kind of like, be balanced. Okay, be centered. Give understanding to yourself. Because as you do so, you are calling upon your magic. And for me, magic isn't conjuring magic, though if that's what you believe, then that is absolutely shining through. But for me, it is the God's head hidden within. It is the fact that, Brahma in Hinduism said, I will hide the God's head within man, because that is the one place that he will never look for it. And it is realizing that, yes, we look everywhere else. We look towards everyone else but ourselves. For that brilliance, for that beauty, for that truth, for that magic that makes up our lives. As above, so below. As you think it, so it becomes. If you think you do not deserve prosperity that lasts for generations, it will not come. You can think of the magician as the alchemist. You turn lead into gold. And isn't that what we do with our hearts, our souls, ourselves? We turn lead, we turn the common everyday person into gold, into something valuable and worthwhile and brilliant. It leads you to the Five of Swords. It leads you to facing a karmic debt as a queen, as royalty, as the determined, powerful person that you are. And as a student, it's like, I'm not making the same mistakes. I'm not walking the same path. And you see things so differently than you have seen things before as you look at things openly and honestly for yourself. And as the world opens to you in a way that you hadn't expected, and in a way that takes your breath away. And you then, again, are that queen of passion, that queen of determination, and you hold your secrets well, because the queen does not need everybody to know. She keeps them. In the public arena, as you are moving forward, things are changing. And it is a heavy hitting time. Okay, it really is. You are pushed out of your comfort zone. You sit there and you look at things and you're like, my goodness, I did not expect that. It is a powerful, brilliant, profound change that can break your heart, okay, but can also, sorry about that, but can also move you forward in a way that you hadn't expected, in a way that you absolutely need. A tower time is a time that tests us. A tower time takes us out of our comfort zone and says, okay, now it's time to see what we're made out of. A tower time can be one of the hardest times in our lives, but it can also be a time when we look at things and it brings forth such change that we hadn't expected. We look at the tower and we say, okay, it's going to be hard, but it doesn't have to be hard. It can be so much more than we expected, so much more than we anticipated, but it's exactly what divinity wants. And in the public arena, you are being pushed out of your comfort zone, and you're being pushed towards what your soul wishes for. As you claim your truth, you fight for it's like you fight for the honor of your throne. And you see things so differently. An enchantment comes around you, a beauty, a understanding, a sense of something greater. As you look at the stars, as you look at the highest form of man's perfection, and you say, my ancestors were guided by these stars. We still give them names. We still remember the stories that they were given, that they were told over, that people told about them. There we go. And we're looking at this sacred truth and this beautiful wonder that crowns us every single day. And it's moving towards what our souls crave and what our hearts desire. And as you walk that path, which is not an easy path, and is a path that seldom we dare to walk, because this is personal, it is powerful, and it's brilliant. And we rise. Our angels call us forward, and we rise to a beautiful height, to a profound understanding. It is a resurrection of our souls and of ourselves, a claiming of our power, and a brilliance of our truth. Let's see what your spirit animal message is for this time. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury Retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury Retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. How will Scorpio be affected by Mercury Retrograde? October 14th to November 3rd, 2020. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay, these three. We start here with the Swan Spirit. It's time for a deep dive. It's time to dive deeper than you ever expected for a truth that is absolutely a part of you and will always be a part of you. It is diving deeper into your heart, into your soul, into what's truly important to you and what you truly want from this life. And then it brings you to the Starfish Spirit. It says, open to infinite possibilities. You are now open to the infinite possibilities that the world has to offer you, because you have dived deeper into the waters of your soul, into the passion of yourself. And you are not afraid. You're not sitting there and saying, oh no, I can't possibly. It's like, oh no, yes I can. And I will, which is more important. And then it has the Cat Spirit. Claim your independence. Claim your truth. As you do so, you claim the power that is you. Your subconscious message for this time, when it comes to your spirit guide, animal cards, it's the Wolf Spirit. It says turn knowledge into wisdom, which is what you're doing this whole entire time. And becoming wise is not easy. It involves a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, but a lot of truth. Seeing things more openly, more honestly, more powerfully as you move forward. So wisdom becomes a part of you as your knowledge becomes deep and meaningful. Your subconscious person message is the Prince of Swords. Moving forward in passion, in power, in determination. You have that in the main reading. You have that passion that moves you, that knowledge, that cutting through doubts and fears, that knowing where you stand and what you stand for. And that is going to be such a powerful part of you. You have to just rein it in a little bit, because you're going to have a tendency, Scorpio, to act before you think. Yeah, and to speak before you think, which can be detrimental during a Mercury retrograde. And then we have your subconscious chakra message, which is divine wisdom. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown. Divinity is blessing you with wisdom, with understanding, with sacred knowledge, with sacred truth. And that is really being a part of you during this time. Your subconscious tarot message is the moon. Pisces energy here, time frame February 19th to March 20th. You are facing fears. Subconsciously, you're facing fears, doubts, apprehensions. You're seeing that in the main part of the reading, okay? As we go deeper, you have the sun shining in. But you also have the reflection of the sun guiding you forward, letting you see things you wouldn't normally have seen, understand things you might not have understood. And as you're looking at things openly and honestly and powerfully for yourself, you're not being held back by fear, because the fear can cripple, and the fear will cripple. You're now looking at what you want and what you need and saying, this is who I am. And moving forward, guided by a quieter, gentler light that does push us out of our comfort zone. Because we feared the dark. Our ancestors feared the dark. And the first chance we got. And that's why Prometheus bringing us fire, in Greek mythology and in all other myths and religions and legends, fire is so important because it fought back the darkness. And here, it is seeing the beauty within our shadow itself. It is seeing that all that is within the dark, all that cannot be seen, is not evil. And it's also embracing the quiet, the peaceful, and the serene. You're going to want to fight it off, though. You're going to want to sit there and light up the world so that you cannot see the darkness. that is going to be something that would actually do more harm than good. To go deeper into this subconscious message, we have the Three of Pentacles. Your angels are laying down the pathway to your prosperity. We have the Three of Pentacles in the main part of the reading. The light shining down on you. You are still being guided. You're still moving forward in it. And this is a prosperity of your making, though others will want to take credit for it. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we face what we fear and claim a beauty and a power that divinity has waiting for us. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio.